Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you thought the Giants' offense was already looking pretty promising with Daniel Jones under center and some solid weapons around him, hold onto your hats because there's a rumor swirling that could shake things up big time. We're talking about a potential trade that would send Tyreek Hill, the blazing fast wide receiver from Miami, to the New York Giants. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a wild scenario, but one that's gaining traction in NFL circles and could very well redefine what we expect from Big Blue's offense in the coming years. Let's set the stage here. Right now, the Miami Dolphins are in a bit of a rebuild mode. Their season hasn't gone exactly as planned. They're sitting at 5-8, and with about $20 million in cap space, they're looking at some tough decisions. One of those decisions might involve trading Tyreek Hill, who's been one of the most explosive receivers in the league ever since he burst onto the scene with the Kansas City Chiefs. But with Tua Tagovailoa's inconsistent health and the Dolphins trying to manage their cap, some sources whisper that Miami is contemplating moving Hill in exchange for draft picks and a promising wide receiver prospect. This move would free up significant cap space for Miami, especially to bolster the offensive line, which has been a recurring concern this season. Now, why would the Giants be interested in such a move? Well, for starters, Hill, the cheetah from West Alabama, would bring an immediate deep threat that Big Blue desperately needs. The Giants have been a team that relies heavily on their running game and intermediate passes, but adding a weapon like Hill would change the entire offensive dynamic. His speed, blazing enough to stretch defenses and force opposing safeties into tough decisions, could elevate Daniel Jones's performance and honestly make the Giants' offense one of the most dangerous in the league. Especially with Neighbors out for the season due to that concussion, the Giants need a game-changer on the outside. Hill fits that mold perfectly. Looking at Hill's current numbers in 2025, it's clear he's still one of the league's top deep threats. He's recorded 85 receptions for 50 yards and 7 touchdowns through just 12 games, with a PFF grade of 90. 5. His EPA per target sits at an impressive 0.34, which is elite, and his average yards after catch, YAC, is around 6.5 yards, demonstrating his ability to turn short throws into big gains. He's also been forcing 14 missed tackles this season, showing his capability to rack up yardage even after the catch. His career stats are nothing short of remarkable. 578 receptions, over 200 yards and 65 touchdowns, with an average of about 89 yards per game. Now, if we consider a hypothetical trade, similar to what the Chiefs did in 2022 when they moved Hill, the Giants could see an immediate boost of roughly 220 yards in aerial attack. That would push the Giants' passing game to new heights, potentially leading to around 300 yards for Hill in a Giants uniform. Think about it. A player who's already been a consistent deep threat, with a history of big plays, 18 touchdowns over 20-plus yards in his career, could be the X factor that pushes the Giants into the playoff conversation and maybe even beyond. His presence would force defenses to stay honest, opening up running lanes for Saquon Barkley and creating more space for other receivers like Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt. But let's not forget the ripple effect here. The Dolphins, with Hill gone, would need to find other ways to produce offensively. Their current attack averages around 220 passing yards per game, which isn't terrible but isn't elite either. They've been struggling with offensive line issues, and losing Hill's speed would mean they'd need to rely more on their running game or intermediate routes. The trade could be seen as a way for Miami to pivot and try to rebuild their identity, especially with their cap situation and the desire to build a more balanced attack. For the Giants, this move could be a game changer, no pun intended. It's about adding a weapon who can take the top off defenses, force safeties to stay deep, and create opportunities for big plays on every down. Daniel Jones, who's been playing pretty well this season, especially when it comes to extending plays with his legs, would have a true game breaker to rely on. It's no secret that the Giants have been trying to build an offense that can score quickly and efficiently, and Hill's presence would elevate the entire unit. Plus, with his track record of success, 7 100-yard receiving games in 2025 alone, he's proven he can produce when it counts. Now let's talk about the potential impact of this move on the Giants' playoff chances. Right now, they're sitting at a 2-11 record, which doesn't look great, but with the right pieces and a bit of luck, they can turn things around. Adding Hill would supercharge their offense and make them much more dangerous in the second half of the season and into the playoffs. In fact, considering the Giants' current aerial attack averages around 180 yards per game without neighbors, just imagine what a player like Hill could do. His ability to stretch defenses and make contested catches would be invaluable, especially in high-pressure situations. And what about the bigger picture? In the NFL, one player can truly make a difference, and Hill's speed and playmaking ability are precisely what the Giants need to take that next step. Think back to the Chiefs in 2019, when Hill's speed helped elevate their offense to new heights, and they went all the way to Super Bowl LIV. His impact in the playoffs has been undeniable, 18 touchdowns over his career over 20 yards, making him one of the most feared deep threats in the league. If the Giants can pull this off, it could be a move that not only transforms their offense, but also gives them a fresh identity as a team that can strike from anywhere on the field. Of course, such a trade would come with questions. Would the Dolphins be willing to part ways with a player of Hill's caliber? Would the Giants be willing to part with draft picks or a promising receiver to make it happen? And of course, the financial aspect. Hill's cap hit is around $31 million, which is substantial. But if the Giants see him as a long-term piece to their puzzle, it might be worth it. Plus, it's about setting a tone. If the Giants want to contend seriously, they need to make bold moves, and acquiring a player like Hill would send a clear message to the NFC East and the rest of the league. Now, looking deeper into the potential playoff implications, Hill's presence could be the catalyst that pushes the Giants from a rebuilding team into a playoff contender. His ability to stretch the field would open up opportunities for other receivers and could reduce turnovers by making defenses respect the deep shot more consistently. On the defensive side, that would mean opposing teams would need to dedicate more resources to cover Hill, which could create opportunities for the Giants' defense to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And beyond just the X's and O's, this kind of move would energize the fan base. Imagine the excitement building around the team, knowing that they've acquired one of the league's most electrifying playmakers. It's a move that could reignite hope for a postseason run, or at least set the foundation for future success. For Giants fans, dreaming of a deep playoff run with Hill making highlight reel catches and running past defenders is not far-fetched. It's a vision of what this team could become with the right pieces in place. So in conclusion, a Tyreek Hill trade to the Giants might seem like a bold and risky move, but for a team looking to turn the page and make a splash, it could be exactly what they need. It's about adding speed, explosiveness, and a true game-changer to their arsenal. The Giants have the coaching staff, the young talent, and the leadership to make this work if the front office decides to pull the trigger. It's a bold step, but sometimes in the NFL, you have to be bold to get where you want to go, back to the Super Bowl. And with Hill on board, Big Blue could be on the verge of a new chapter filled with speed, excitement, and maybe, just maybe, another shot at glory. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you believe the Giants should go all in and trade for Tyreek Hill? Would that move transform the team into a real playoff contender? Or do you think it's too risky, considering the cap hit and the draft capital involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and, more importantly, to the Giants organization. We love hearing your takes, whether you're all in or cautious about making such a bold move. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis on your favorite team, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news. This is a franchise that's always got something brewing, and with the right moves, the future looks brighter than ever. So keep supporting the Giants, stay passionate, and get ready for some exciting times ahead. Let's go Big Blue.